Glenn Carle, a former CIA officer, this idea, so just moving away from this whole business of the stolen election, unsubstantiated claim, the fact that these raids are being seen as a form of reprisal and as, in a sense, bolstered Trump's, in a sense, the traction and popularity, because he now is able to say that this is an attempt to target him. What is your sense, as someone who's been in the intelligence services, when you look at the kind of evidence that's coming out of these images of top secret files and whatnot, does it still merit the kind of action that was taken at Mar-a-Lago? Could it have been handled differently? Because now you've got a very unusual situation where a former president who's is getting set to run again is being investigated in this very serious way and might even cause impediments in his attempt to run again.
Yes, well, my reaction to one corrective with what otherwise are spot-on comments that you made. To characterize what the FBI did by serving a warrant and conducting a search as a raid actually falls into the false narrative of Trump and his crowd. It's not a raid. It was a legally performed execution of a search warrant, which had been signed off on according to legal proper procedure by multiple levels of the United States government. Now, to the question of, or the issue of the documents themselves, how significant this is and how this plays into the larger story. By way of preface, I first came to any sort of public role regarding Trump in the election about 7 years ago now, when a year or so before his election, or victory, I noticed what were, and I'm a retired officer, but I, once an officer, always an officer, I noticed shocking correlations of Russian intelligence activity with Donald Trump and his family and entourage, and I tried to speak out and contact the authorities, all of which has been substantiated literally hundreds of times with open source documentation and verification. So it is profoundly alarming, as Mr. Vickery was talking about, in the larger sense, but also with documentation. Anyone in the American government who has access to classified information and who handled it remotely, as Trump has, would literally, this is not figurative, literally be in handcuffs and then in jail. I know people in jail who have done dramatically less than Trump has been shown to have done taking these documents. When you do this, you endanger many lives, billions of dollars of capabilities that take decades to create and to maintain. And you endanger specific people and the national security of the United States. That is not a joke. Sure. It is not hyperbole. It is a profound national security event done by a man who should, frankly, be in jail for having done it.